We are live. What is going on with my hair right here? Hold on. Let's see if I can fix this camera. There we go. Now, let me check the sound. Checking the sound really quick. All right. Sound is there. Ooh, already a vote. We got a night owl, same. Definitely a night owl as well. Though I wish I was a morning riser, because then it would make getting up for work so much easier. All right. Have my cards ready, everyone. I'm doing a pop-up. Pop-up today. Just finished filming. Though this reading won't be out till September. But I am finished filming, so I wanted to hop on live, see if anyone was available. I know it's Sunday night, so we shall see how things go. I hope you guys are doing good. Let me know how your weekend has been, what you've been up to, what you've been trying out. How did the new moon affect you? For me personally, if you know, I have been struggling with my phone. I've had some issues. I literally factory reset it on the new moon. It wasn't intentional, by the way. It just ended up that way. And I was like, finally, I have I've backed up everything and I can factory reset this phone. Now it works. New beginnings with my old phone. So that is what the new moon has done for me. It was really frustrating, I'll tell you that. But I'm still in the process of getting it set up to how I like, right? Because there's so much to do. Ooh, got the world card here. I'm going to take that as a sign as it will be successful in getting things aligned again. Okay. Just shuffling this deck today. It's basically the Rider-Waite tarot deck, but just like darker formatting. So nothing's too special here. Regular Rider-Waite tarot deck. You guys know I love a Rider-Waite tarot deck. It is one of my faves. So today's poll question, I wasn't sure if I asked this already, but I figure, if I can't remember, I'll just ask it again. And it is, are you a morning person or a night person? Me personally, I am a night owl. We have early risers. We have neither. We have both. Let me know. Though I'm going to say if you guys are neither, I'm going to assume that you're just like, I just want to sleep. Please leave me alone. Which I can relate to as well. Sometimes there's just not enough hours in the day to sleep. Too many things to do. 100%. At least that's how it is for me. So let me know how things are going on your end. I don't need to just talk about myself all day. Got my water here. I can say it's been a half productive weekend. I cannot believe it will be September soon. And speaking of September, the September readings will be out this Thursday. A little bit more delayed than I usually am, but I've been pretty busy with school and things. And so that's the only reason it's been a week. It's a week delayed than normal. But it will be out. It will be out then. So if you guys are interested to see the September predictions, the monthly predictions, and what's going to be happening, a look ahead at that, then you can check that out this Thursday at noon, as always. So check it out on your lunch break. And also, if you are interested in what's happening this week ahead, I have done the weekly collective. Just check out the latest live. It will have the weekly collective, and the timestamp is in the description bar of that video, so you can see the energies unfolding this week and our collective lives. These cards are already flying. We got the Hangman here. Isn't that funny? Because we also got the Hangman for the weekly collective. See, it's saying go check it out. See what's happening. See what's in the vibes, what's in store. Hey, KA, how are you? If I have two options, which one is looking more beneficial? Okay, let's see. I'll label one option A and one option B. And you're going to have to let me know how you've labeled that in your mind. Okay, keep in mind, you'll say this is option A, this is option B. All right. So let's do this. And let me know how you guys are doing. Don't forget to answer in the polls. If you are a night owl, early riser, neither or both, I'm very curious. I am a night owl, which is why I'm here. It is very hard to get me to get up on the weekend before noon. So let's see. What is the best option for Kate? Option A, we have the Fool. Option B, we have the Seven of Wands. There we go, focused. Option A, we have the Eight of Cups. Option B, we have the Strength card. This one won't focus for some reason. All right, well, it's trying to focus. All right. Option A, we have the Hangman. There we go. And option B, we have the Three of Cups. Okay. So option A, the Fool, the Eight of Cups, and the Hangman. This isn't a bad option. To be honest, with the Fool, they are very carefree. They're very energetic. They're happy. They don't have a care in the world. Then we go into this space of the Eight of Cups, which is all about leaving things behind that just burden us, drag us down, don't bring us a sense of satisfaction. We're getting those things out of our lives. So to me, especially with the Hangman here, this seems like a pretty decent option. It does imply that there may be some elements out of your control that may be a little bit delayed, that may feel like, oh, could this hurry up and happen already, especially with the Hangman going on here. If we have this Eight of Cups with the Hangman following, it's like, I'm ready to move on. Emotionally, I have detached from this, but there seems to be maybe some loose ends that need to be taken care of, or maybe some processes take a little bit longer than you expected, but ultimately it is going to lead to a better place, especially with the Hangman there. That can bring about better opportunities in the future, especially since you would be taking that time to pause and reflect and think everything through. And honestly, it just feels like a fresh start, feels like lighter, happier, and leaving things behind that just you don't need them. You just don't need it anymore. This is not bad either, okay? We have the Seven of Wands, we have Strength, we have the Three of Cups. This is a circumstance which is going to involve a lot more stress, a lot more fight, and there is going to have to be a lot more effort. That Strength card represents having to overcome some hurdles and some challenges, maybe even dealing with some people or some systems that are completely frustrating, okay? The Strength card is like, I need to hold my own. I need to stand my ground against people, circumstances, challenges that are very difficult to overcome and to move past. We know that Seven of Wands is a stubborn energy. We know Strength card is very stubborn energy. So this may be a little tiring, but ultimately you'd be happy with the results, especially with this Three of Cups here. It's like, okay, I've gotten to a place where there is some collaboration, some agreement, some reason to celebrate, some moment of happiness. It feels as if everything will ultimately work out. It just comes after some trials and tribulation. Versus the other one, less trials and tribulation, but there may be a period of anxiousness and waiting there, especially with the Hangman. I'm going to pull one more card for each of them just to clarify everything. And guys, don't forget to vote on the polls. I am curious to know if you are a morning person or a night person. Let's see. What is the best option for Kate? Okay, this is pile A with the Fool and everything. We got the World card. So this would ultimately bring a lot of satisfaction. Don't know what you're hoping for, but this is success. You know, it's an accumulation point. It's like I've gotten everything I've wanted and more. And it also represents like people are looking at you with a sense of pride. If you're looking for a sense of recognition, the World card would be that. With option B, we have the Ace of Cups. So this is more so about just personal fulfillment and you feeling happy and satisfied personally with the outcome. Even having a sense of relief can be the Ace of Cups here, especially since we had the Seven of Wands and the Strength card. It's like, finally, I get a moment where I can breathe. So this is more so, you know, I feel proud of me. Versus the other one feels like, you know, I've gotten everything I want and more, and people are recognizing your strength. It also can lead to more opportunities in the long run. I'm thinking option 2. Choose the one that's best for you. I mean, either one, it's going to work out either way. So I do like to see that, like neither one is a disaster. So you know, go ahead, go for what your heart desires and what brings you the sense of happiness and peace, you know. So I'm wishing you the best, Kate. You're welcome. And guys, let me know if you have anything that you would like some guidance from. I love being able to read for you all, and let me know how your weekend's been. We just had the new moon in Virgo, and I believe in Vedic astrology it's happening in the nakshatra of Magha, because you guys know I love to talk about nakshatras. And Magha is definitely an interesting nakshatra because it can have to do with wanting a sense of validation from other people because it happens in the Vedic sign of Leo. And I have noticed that a lot of Magha people will want that sense of appreciation or want to be received well or well liked. Like think of like Donald Trump, right? He puts his name on everything and says, okay, look what I've done for you. And he wants to be received as this likable person to some degree, right? So that's very Magha energy. And so there could be this theme within your life, wherever this is hitting, where you want some recognition in that area. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We all want some sort of recognition and attention or to feel special in some way. And so you may even be looking for ways in which you can receive that validation or attention or sense of appreciation in your life in that area. And that could have to do with leaving something behind in order to receive that recognition, or even changing your behavior or approach in a certain way. So I just want to throw that out there for those of you who are interested in that tidbit, in that fact. It can also connect to creativity as well. And Magha does rule ancestors and family. So if you have been doing something with your family or doing something for your family, that wouldn't be surprising to me with this new moon. And it's also a great time to do that. You know, you'll have a lot of luck in this area. Like if you were like helping a family member move. Magha seems to have a bit of a bad rep. You could say that about any nakshatra. I'll say this, you know, with Magha, Sometimes, they can be a little selfish because it's a K2 ruled, etc. And K2 is known for being headless. So it's like they may not think about how their actions affect other people or even the circumstances that they may go through. Sometimes it can, if the MAGA person is a little bit immature, they can feel like they are the only person suffering or who have gone through bad things, and it can reflect in their actions. They're like, oh, I'm just going to look out for me, not even thinking about how other people may have certain issues as well. How do I explain that? Other people may have certain issues as well, and they don't take that into account. They're just thinking about their own suffering or even their own benefit. And I have definitely seen that firsthand with MAGA people. So that can be true. But then I've also seen behaviors in which some of them can be very compassionate, but it's usually not off the bat. I'll say that. It usually takes a lesson that they have to learn. But yeah, every placement's different. Every placement's different, but that is a pattern I have seen with them. All right, guys. There we go. But let me know how your weekend has been. What have you guys been up to? Me, I've been enjoying my weekend off. I still do things. I've been working on this channel, working on having like a better system for you guys to book readings. So that's what I've been using my energy for this particular weekend. And I've already told you guys I've reset my phone. So that obviously comes with a lot of like, I've got to log into this email and these sites, and then I've got to transfer all of this data. It's a very long process, but but I'm happy to be getting it done. And don't forget to book a reading with me. The form is linked below. I offer tarot and astrology readings. So if you want to see what's coming up next for you, I can definitely give you that deep dive information on that. We only have a few months left in the year. Can you believe that? It feels like this year has like flown by in a way. At least that's how I feel. But, I think it's different for everyone. I've heard so many different changes and transformations. We've had a lot of different powerful shifts and transits this year. So from like Uranus entering Gemini, that's a big shift. Then we have that Neptune and Aries vibe going on. And then Pluto just got into Aquarius. I think does it go back in Capricorn? I don't think so, but it's in Capricorn, not Capricorn. It's in Aquarius. My brain is just fried. And we also had that Jupiter and Venus conjunction. There's been so much going on, Saturn in Aries. So I wouldn't be surprised if you guys had some major shifts this year or even some realizations coming for you. Me, obviously, as an Aries, we're all going through it. Any Aries I talk to, it's like we are stressed out. It's that Saturn and Neptune energy. I've seen so many Aries just like shift changes in their careers and their jobs and their way of living, life focus. Like they're just like, I'm going in a completely new direction. Ooh. I'm just very excited for the next year. And I can't wait to do the yearlies. They're one of my favorites. I love doing the year aheads. Oh, Ten of Pentacles. I'm going to treat that as a good sign for all of us that we're going to have a successful and happy 2026. Bountiful and beautiful. That's going to be for all of us. All right. I have reshuffled them. But I hope everything's been great for you all. And that things aren't too stressful. Things are good. You're vibing. This weekend, I actually had time to watch some TV. I've been wanting to watch How Stella Got Her Groove Back for years. And then I saw it was free on YouTube. And so I have been watching it. I'm almost done. You know, I'm a little bit more than halfway finished it. So I've heard so much about the movie, mainly criticism, because people like criticizing movies and stuff on the internet. They like criticizing everything. But I like it so far. I think it's really good, you know? So hopefully the ending isn't going to ruin it. At least that's what I hope. Let me know if there's any movies or shows that you guys have been watching or that you have been interested in seeing. That's where I am. I never get time for movies and shows, but like this weekend, since it's my last weekend before school starts again, which I cannot believe, like last semester, guys, last semester. And I'm just like, whoa, it's been that long already. My brain is fried. If you've ever been in school, you know what that's like. But yes, let me actually say that our polling will be up as always every Wednesday. Yeah, I have it scheduled for Wednesday. So be sure to participate in the poll. I love to ask you guys questions just to get to know you guys and to see your thoughts and your opinions on things. I love hearing your feedback and what you have to say. As I already mentioned before, the monthly September reading will be out on Thursday. And I am, like I said, I'm looking into more avenues for private readings. So that should be fun. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything other announcements I want to make. Not right now. I do have some things pending in the background, as I always do, but that is about all. Feel free to follow me on social media. Sometimes I vlog. I do have my weekly tarots on my TikTok. I created just for this channel. So if you want to just look at the weekly collectives and the clips, they are there. I may start posting on that as soon as I graduate, because I don't have time to post everything I would like to, just because I don't have the time for it. But I cannot wait. Follow me there, and I'll definitely be posting content in the future in regards to that. And I think that is what I wanted to say for now. Like I said, I have a lot of thoughts pending in the background of next steps. If you guys don't know, I am in project management. So I definitely have like my short-term goals, my long-term goals, milestones. Like I break it down in terms of what I'm doing. So even if you don't see me doing stuff, I'm doing stuff. Trust me, I'm a long-term planner. And I'll probably pop up, I think this week I'm going to have to do Friday again, just because Saturday and Sunday are busy for me. But I will be going live scheduled on those days. If you want to ask me a question, anything that is on your mind, anything to love, career, relationships, family, I am very happy to give you a reading. If you guys have never been to the live before, because sometimes people come to the live and they don't know what to expect. Well, I am Brandy. I'm a practical reader, which means I like to use tarot and astrology to give you grounded everyday predictions. I think tarot and astrology should be accessible to everyone. So it is a part of my reading style to bring everything into circumstances we can all relate to and understand. So that is how I like to read and how I like to do things. a lot of you guys are very experienced with tarot and some with astrology. So I really enjoy, hearing what you all have to say, but not everyone has that shared experience. And thus, I like to make sure that I am providing accurate interpretations based off of my experience, but at the same time, also being able to teach and have people learn and read for themselves. And for when it comes to the lives, it is $5 for yes or no, $10 for any in-depth questions that you may have. There's no limit on the amount of cards that I will pull. I like to just pull until I get the full messages to give you guided insights. And I prefer to go through PayPal and Cash App. Those super chats are welcomed. Because I know not everyone has access to PayPal and Cash App, and all of that information can be found in the description bar below. You can see my PayPal, you can see my Cash App there. So just let me know if you have any burning questions on your mind. Maybe you are nervous about the week ahead. Maybe you have some plan and you're hoping that things will go well. Maybe you're worried about your new job. We can provide some guidance in that, or how a situation may play out, or any advice that you might be looking for. I am here to offer my professional tarot experience based upon the cards and what the universe has to say. So that is some things about me. Ooh, and as I was just blabbing on, I was just going on about other stuff and movies and things that I've been doing. But I do want to hear what you guys have been up to. You don't have to listen to me talk about my boring life. mm. Mm. Oh, and today I'm just using the normal Rider-Waite tarot deck. They're just a little bit deeper in color and outlined. Ooh, there we go. So you can see. Oh, and if you want to look at the collective weekly look ahead, that was on the latest live. So you can just go back and check out the latest live, and I will have that time stamped in the description below, so you can go right to it. You don't have to listen to the entire live. You can just get the vibes for the week ahead. Ooh, cards are shuffling all over the place. We have the 8 of Swords here. And the Empress. Maybe it's some vibes, about expressing yourself more, or being more in tune with yourself, not being shy, coming out of your shell. Sometimes I get this 8 of Swords cards to represent, like, you want to say something, but you know that you're going to receive some pushback or even some negative feedback. So it's uncomfortable to even speak up, or it almost feels like someone is always challenging your opinion, and there's a sense of always having to defend yourself, and it can make you feel like trapped, or even sometimes it can represent like you've spoken up in the past and you feeling dismissed, and so you're like, oh, this is not an environment to freely express myself. But I like seeing that Empress on the end, because it shows maybe a vibe is coming soon for all of us that is going to shift into a place of being comfortable, being able to express ourselves, being more happy with our environment and the things that are coming in. All right. So while we are waiting for any questions, let's pick a card and maybe we can talk about the card. This card flew out. We have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is one of my favorite cards here. And I love it because she's cloaked from head to toe. And a lot of the cards are fully dressed, but you really can only see her hands, her face, and her neck. And it really does go into the secrecy aspect of the High Priestess and how she's almost there to guide secrets. So, when we get the High Priestess, she represents someone who has a lot of knowledge, but then also recognizes not everyone can be provided that sense of knowledge, right? It's almost as if she understands that there are safe spaces in which you can share information, but then there's also certain types of wisdom or knowledge or information that can be misused depending on who you give that information to. And so the High Priestess always uses her discernment in order to guide others or to protect someone else in a way when it comes to her place and her role within the world or society. And so I really like seeing this High Priestess energy because she's there to let us know to not only to help and benefit others, but to be wary about who we decide to help and who we decide to benefit. So that is one element that I love seeing when it comes to the High Priestess. And we also have the Six of Wands here. Always about feeling validated, feeling like you've won an important prize, you've put in the work and you've gotten there, a sense of achievement. It's a lot different from other cards. Like maybe you get the Four of Wands to represent a celebration, but it doesn't necessarily have to always do with it being about you. And sometimes the Four of Wands can represent just being surrounded by friends and family who are there to celebrate you, versus the Six of Wands can be the greater public. So I really like that card as well. So I'm just here talking about cards because you guys know I love being able to share any knowledge or information that I have. We can even see just how Monday will be or how tomorrow could be. And we'll do just a quick draw for that card. This card wants to come out. Ace of Swords. Definitely showing a lot of different mental activities, but also represents cutting to the truth, being honest, being fair, and ensuring you're not with the BS. It's one of those cards that is making sure that the energy that we spend our time on, whether it be mental energy, physical energy, whatever the case may be, is not clouding our initiatives, our judgment, our future. The Ace of Swords wants to create a clear path forward. And so it seems to me like Monday, we are making sure to avoid situations, are doing our best to avoid situations that feel as if they are weighing us down, because the Ace of Swords wants all of that to go away, right? It wants this clear cut, open air circumstance with the Ace of Swords. So this can be something along the lines of, let's say you have a lot of paperwork or tasks to do. The Ace of Swords can represent prioritizing those tasks and even delegating certain tasks to people who it may be better suited for. So that's the Ace of Swords. Let's bring clarity to the situation. Let's not live in fog. Let's not live in disorder. And then sometimes it's just representing a moment of clearing the air and having the truth come out. So Monday might feel something like that along the lines. Also, the Ace of Swords can just represent new ideas and new initiatives and conversations. So if you are planning something, whether that be I'm going to buy a new couch or I am going to create a short list of designers that I want for my wedding dress, that's very much Ace of Swords and just saying, I want a clear focus. I want a list of things. And the Ace of Swords is great because this is often I'm making a to-do list. So maybe Monday is going to be that vibe for all of us. But it does show refocus. But let me know, guys, if you have any questions, if anything is on your mind, if you have anything that you would like to talk about. Ooh. Ooh, the cards are flying. All right. Let me shuffle that really quick. Hey, Veronica. I'm doing great. How are you? I am glad to hear that. I hope the rest of the week will be wonderful as well. You deserve it. It is quite a peaceful Sunday night, so I always enjoy that. You're welcome. Oh, thank you. You're right. I do deserve a good week. I can't wait to take a break, a long-deserved break. I'm sure you know what that's like when you've been working hard and you're just like, oh, I can't wait to pick my feet up. Anything new or exciting? Oh, I'm going to send one. All right. Okay, I'm going to do one last shuffle. There we go. And I hope everyone is doing well as we are almost closing out the summer. We've got like a little under a month left. And then we have fall, but a lot of you love the fall. I do like the leaves turning. Trying to think. You know what I like about the fall? I guess I like all the events. I feel like there's a lot more fun indoor events in the fall. You still have like the pumpkin patch picking and all of that, but I just feel like there's a lot more creative indoor crafty events in the fall for some reason. I guess because in the summer, everyone wants to be out. Okay. Let me know your question whenever you are ready, Veronica. I wanted to know what type of hot girl archetype / vibes I give off, because some people told me, how can I not know? Lots of people don't know. But it's being humble. People always say that. If you got it like that, there is no reason to be humble. So no point in that. Life is too short. Work with what you got. Let's see. What kind of hot girl archetype vibes does Veronica give off? All right, one last. There we go. We have the 4 of Cups. I think because of those other things to distract me. Queen of Swords. I think because I think of those other things to distract me. We have the Knight of Cups. Okay, let's start with those 3. So the 4 of Cups and the Queen of Swords. These cards are a bit like untouchable energy. So these are the kind of cards you may get if people are a little bit hesitant to approach you, or they feel as though you are going to ignore their presence. You know what I mean? It's like the vibe of please don't talk to me. Like the Queen of Swords is very much someone who is very guarded and focused. And she's not necessarily like, I'm in, lover girl land. Okay. She's very beautiful, but she's one of those queens that has a weapon. She has a sword. So it can be very intimidating to approach the Queen of Swords. And in a traditional tarot reading, the Queen of Swords was kind of seen as like the old maiden. I mean, she obviously wasn't, but it's because of her vibe is so, it's not necessarily like warm, friendly. It's more so you need to come correct if you're going to approach me. And so when we see this 4 of Cups and this Queen of Swords, the hot girl vibe you give off is, please don't approach me unless you are at a certain standard, right? That's just your natural vibe. You may not even be that way, but it does show that like you're going to ignore options that don't meet your standard, that aren't up to par. And people feel like you will be very honest about it. This is the vibe that you get. But I generally get the Queen of Swords to be someone who is not going to entertain anyone. It's very not flirtatious. Four of Cups, similar vibe, like very untouchable. I don't even know if it's okay to make eye contact with this person. But we do have this Knight of Cups energy too. And that can mean that there's a side to you that people also see as very soft. Maybe you have a very nice laugh. Maybe your smile is very, very attractive. Knight of Cups is also representing of being very youthful in appearance. And so you may look a little bit younger than people think you are, or there may be something even youthful about you. So it's interesting because it's not necessarily like hot, but more so like very beautiful, very pretty. I generally get cups and queens to represent someone who's very beautiful and very pretty. So I really feel as though this is a lot of focus on people finding your beauty to be a little bit unapproachable, and they're not sure where they might stand with you. So it's just maybe you don't give a lot away, because when we have that Four of Cups and that Queen of Swords, it's like, oh, this person's a little bit hard to read. Same with the Knight of Cups. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold. It feels like mixed signals. And so people are trying to figure out, okay, is this person interested in me? Are they not interested in me? There's an element to them that's untouchable. This person's very beautiful. They seem like they might have a lot of options. They don't seem as though they'll go for, anyone or anything. Like I have to be up to par to talk to this person. So you represent this type of archetype that is almost like you'd say like a beauty queen, right? Like where someone is very attractive, but you wouldn't necessarily just approach them, right? You see that type sometimes where you have a type that a lot of people may feel comfortable approaching. They're attractive. They have this vibe about them that is very much like comforting or warmed or down to earth. Then you have another type that is very put together, very pristine, very very polished, and it's a little bit more intimidating to approach that type. So I feel like that is the type of beauty or hot girl archetype that you have, along with like an element of mystery in terms of like, I can't read this person. Okay, let me pull this other card here. And we got the moon. So that is clarifying that. So when I get the moon card, it definitely represents having a pull, having a sense of magnetism to you. And then also it's emphasizing that youthful appearance. Something about you seems like you are younger than you are. And also, similar to what I said before, there's an element of, I'm not sure, I can't read this person. So some element of mystery, some element of secrecy, some element of, I don't know if this person would be interested in me or not. They don't totally give away the type that they're interested in. So that is your vibe. Even there might be some sort of darker elements there, right? Where I don't know what you call this. What do they call it on social media? Like a dark feminine energy. That's more so the type you give, black cat energy, that type of archetype. Very, very sleek. Okay. It's not necessarily, some people have like a very cutesy kind of like girly vibe. It's not that. It's more mature, it's more mysterious, and it's more intimidating. And also, like I said, people find it very difficult to read you, but they also find you very alluring because there's that element of mysteriousness to you. And what is this person thinking? So I feel like that is your vibe, and that's what's coming across here. That's definitely it. You said, "Ooh, that's good to know." Yeah, definitely is definitely good to know, because I feel like anyone who approaches you has got to have a strong sense of confidence or boldness to them. At least that's what I'm gaining from the cards here. I feel like sometimes they don't know how to impress you, especially since we have that 4 of Cups here, which is like, oh, I'm trying to engage with this person, but they don't seem to be interested in anything that I have to offer or say. So it's very much like I have high standards, certain standards. You need to meet them. And I do like the Queen energy too, because it can represent that you have a beauty that is not necessarily common or everyday, because you have to keep in mind the Queen is not a commoner. She is, royalty. So you'll definitely have a more unique or rare beauty. Mm-hmm. But I want to know, what feedback have you heard? Because if they're saying, how can you not know? What are your friends and people saying to you? That's what I'm curious about. It is always interesting to hear how other people perceive us. I'll say that. So I think it's because I wear casual clothes all the time. I don't wear nice, but when I do, I put it all nines. I mean, I think so. I mean, that's normal though, right? Like most of us kind of dress more casual. I pull out all the stops. I go the extra mile. That makes sense. They're probably seeing you as, that also ties into the moon with going through different phases, right? Overcompensating. I don't think so. I think that's normal, right? Most of us aren't dressing to the nines all the time, but when we do, we have our own sort of allure or appeal to us. And yours is a little bit more mysterious. Mm-hmm. But I do like that you got this transformative vibe with the moon here. It's like very Hannah Montana. Living 2 separate lives, Veronica. But I'm sure your beauty translates. Doesn't matter if you're dressed to the nines or not. Yep, you get the best of both worlds. I always love seeing different people's archetypes and things in terms of appearance. It's always interesting to hear how you're perceived or how you come across. The only way you can know is if you get that feedback from other people or how they respond to you. No dudes goes up to me. Yeah, that's pretty much in line with the Queen of Swords there. Like I said, it's a more intimidating beauty. So you're not going to get that sense of being approached because they're going to feel like you're going to reject them more than likely. It's my friends that tell me, like, how do you not know? Lots of people don't know, you know. I think that's common. You know, the way you perceive yourself may not be how other people perceive you. And it's not like you can live your life as somebody else. So, hey, girly, first time, I think, but about to donate. Hey, NF, nice to see you here. Welcome. Yeah, Veronica, I mean, you can ask people. Gonna send for another. All right. And welcome anyone whose first time is here in the lives. So happy to have you here and joining me this Sunday night. It's nice to be able to hop on. I love seeing you guys. You always have such interesting things to say and questions. So I love it personally. It's great. Can I ask, based on this, what type of dudes would be into me? All right. I'll get to NFs first, and then I'll get to you, Veronica. Is James going to message me back? Risky type of message. All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. These cards just flew. All right. Let's get some clarity here with NF. And you guys, don't forget to vote on the polls, because I really want to know if you guys are, I can't believe everyone's a night owl. Like, no early risers. I guess it is late. I'll have to like do an early morning video maybe to get the early risers. Let's see. We have the sun. Make sure that's there. There we go. We have the Ace of Pentacles. All right. And we have the Seven of Cups. To me, I think they are going to message you back. And especially with the sun and the Ace of Pentacles, that to me is obviously providing some sort of happiness. It's not closed off energy. It's very transparent. It's very open. Ace of Pentacles, that's an offering, could be a message. And with that Seven of Cups, I don't know if they are thinking about what they want to say here, or if they're still trying to figure out the best response. But to me, it does definitely show a response clearly. I'm going to pull one card with this Seven of Cups. Yeah, that's what it is. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So they may just be reflecting hard on what to say back, especially with that Eight of Pentacles there. This is like when you type someone, then you delete the message and you're like, oh, maybe I should phrase it this way and say this thing. And I'm really considering what I need to say. It's very analytical. And sometimes they can get particular about the wording or the phrasing or how they need to say something or how they want to respond. But definitely you will receive a response from this person. None of these cards indicate being ignored or being left on red. Just the Ace of Pentacles can be slow, to be honest. This person is just very particular about their communication and what they want to say. He said, yep, he usually does. If I say something, he has to analyze it. He wants to be cool. Yeah, that sounds like this person. They are very analytical. very detail oriented and very particular about their words and their messaging. So that's all that's happening with this person. They're thinking about it, they're intellectualizing it, and they are taking their time to figure out how they want to respond. But you will receive a response from James. He's not ignoring you. He's just slow, to be honest. And I would imagine the message to be positive, especially if we got the Sun and the Ace of Pentacles. So doesn't seem shady to me or anything. Seems like a good response. Very practical. Yeah. You got a slow texter here. Okay. Let's see Veronica's question. Based on this, what type of dude would be so into me? And if you can, NF, give us the update. Let us know what he says. I'm nosy. Or you don't have to share it. You don't have to share it, but I'm just a nosy person. Okay, we have the Four of Wands. So the guys that will be into you or super into you will be very marriage minded. We also have the King of Cups reversed. Might have to clarify that one later. We have the High Priestess. And we have the Five of Swords. Let's clarify that. The Knight of Cups. Okay, so the guys that would be very into you, to me, it feels like it's a mixture just because the energies are so different. So you're going to have a type that is going to be very marriage minded, very, oh, thanks for subscribing. Definitely come back. Can't wait to see you again. But Veronica, you're going to attract guys who are going to be very focused on commitment, marriage, coming together, building a family, building a lifestyle, something along the lines of a serious relationship. We do have the King of Cups reversed. So something about that, when I see the King of Cups reverse, is you may attract some guys who may have to deal with some emotional baggage or energies from the past, because the King of Cups reverse is someone who can recognize that they're being triggered or that there may be some issues regarding their behavior, but they may be struggling to figure out how they can resolve things. That's normally what I see with the King of Cups, because it's not like they don't have the emotional intelligence to recognize when something's wrong. It's more so that they either aren't committed to the avenues to fixing it or they don't know how. And so you may attract a type that is like that to some degree. And I want to clarify the King of Cups. We have the Hanged Man. And so sometimes when I get this King of Cups reversed with the Hanged Man, that represents somebody who's very self-reflective, but they may not know how to reach out for help, or they may be reluctant to reach out for help. So that can be the case with the type that you attract. It's a sense of like, oh, I know that I have some issues, but I haven't done totally all the work to, I guess, address it, right? Or I don't know how to address it. Then there's a type that can be more spiritual because we have the high priestess here. So a type that is going to be very knowledgeable, very in tune with themselves, very much clear on their purpose, on what they want to do in life. This is going to be a type that is very much comfortable within themselves, and they may be a type that's a little bit more conservative. And I don't mean politically, I just mean like they may be a more conservative person rather than being very extroverted and outspoken. They're going to be more so in the background, a little bit more quiet and reserved. And then we have this Five of Swords, Knight of Cups type. Now, this is going to be obviously a type you definitely want to avoid, who's going to be really into you. This Five of Swords, Knight of Cups type is going to be someone who is not the most reliable person and may have issues with accountability. They're kind of just going off of vibes and, their feelings. I've noticed the Knight of Cups is someone who is ruled by their emotions, which is not necessarily a good thing, because if you do everything based upon your emotions and your feelings, it's not going to give you the best results in the long term. So this is the type that may make some promises that they can't keep, or may say some things that they mean at the time, but then they recognize that their feelings have changed within a week. So you may attract it's like different for every single type. There's just like these 4 strong types that you are attracting the most. Some of them are very good, like this 4 of Wands and this High Priestess energy. Some of them not so great, with like this King of Cups, Hangman, and Knight of Cups, Five of Swords energy. So there's a different variation when it comes to the types that will be very into you. And it's up to you to use your discernment to move towards the one that's going to be the best fit for you. And let's pull some clarifications when it comes to the 4 of Wands and the High Priestess type. Woo. All right, that's too many cards. Okay, this card wants to come out. So the 4 of Wands and the Hermit. Definitely someone who is very self-reflective, generous, works hard. They live a very simple, humble lifestyle. And they're someone who is very helpful towards other people. You said, tells me what to avoid because I get the mama's boys into me or something, want their girlfriend to baby them. That's probably that Knight of Cups energy. I'm not surprised by that. But you do attract a mature type. But I'm guessing because it's this 4 of Wands and this Hermit combination, they're not exactly proactively jumping to be in a relationship or to talk to you or take the initiative to make the first move, right? The Hermit card's very much like, I'm going to stay by myself energy. They let me look at you from afar and not say anything type of vibe. I don't know if it's the energy I radiate or it's just the men today. It might be a combination, because I've definitely heard a lot of women say the same thing about the men wanting them to baby them or treat them like their moms or something like that. I'm not really sure what that's about, but it is very interesting to see that dynamic play out these days. Oh, and to clarify the High Priestess, we got the Tower. So that's definitely going to be a type that can be very honest, someone who's going to be very forward with you, very open, and also an element of predictability, because in unpredictability, because the High Priestess can represent secrets and mystery, and the Tower can represent unexpected. So you may attract some wild cards in there too. I just want a real man. If only I could send you one, Veronica. It seems to be very difficult these days. I see so much going on in the dating sphere when it comes to the disconnect between men and women about their needs. You don't have to be muscular and stuff, just self-reliant and self-assured. I think you do attract that type, especially with the Hermit and the Four of Wands, but I don't think they are actively making the moves towards you. So I don't know what it is, but that does seem to be an issue where a lot of guys do seem to be more hesitant to approach women. And I wish I knew what it was. I'm not a man, so I don't know what's going through their heads. From what I have heard is people are just scared to be rejected, or they've been burnt too many times, so they're a little bit jaded when it comes to love, and they don't want to put themselves out there again, which I can understand both perspectives, but the only way we're getting anywhere is if people talk to each other, right? I think it should be mandatory within schools to teach people about relationships and healthy communication. I think that could really help our society, but I don't think we're moving in that direction at all. I really don't. I really do hope that you find that type of self-reliant, confident man who can take the lead, who doesn't expect you to baby him, who can be someone you can rely on, who is stable and honest and mature. I really do wish that for you, because you definitely deserve to be with someone who is an equal partner. But it is possible. People do find their soulmates. They do find the people who love and cherish them for the rest of their lives. And people who find someone who brings more happiness and fulfillment into their lives, they are some of the happiest people in the world. So I know it's possible for you. Or at least that is what I am choosing to believe. That is my belief system. And I am going to choose to be positive just because I've seen it. I've seen plenty of people in love. Said, oh, I know I will find the one. It's just time. That is the right mindset. You will definitely find the one. It's always a matter of time. Unfortunately, life does not work on our own timelines, which is so unfortunate that we can't control it. People, it's just amazing because I love love. So I love hearing people's love stories and all the different ways that they meet each other. And it's just amazing how interesting it is how people can find each other, whether it's like across the world or through a random friend, or you see someone on a train. It's absolutely insane. You never know when or how you're going to meet the person you're meant to spend the rest of your life with. And I guess that's beautiful in a way. Life can be strange and beautiful. All right. I am going to close out, and I will see you all next week. The live will be on Friday, the scheduled one. September readings will be out on Thursday, and the polls will be out Wednesday. And you're welcome. Thank you as well. Thank you for coming to the live. Love seeing you, Veronica. And I think that is all the announcements. If anyone wants to get a private reading from me and they're watching this back, feel free to click the form in the description, fill out, and I will get back to you with your reading. Usually within 72 hours, you will have your reading available to you. I will message you if that timeline changes. More than likely it won't. And that is all I have to say. I don't have anything else I need to announce for the time being, but thank you all. I will see you all next time. Bye.